Hi guys, how are you? This is Lois. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and safe wherever you are. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant who is based here in Calgary, Alberta, and I help you do your immigration applications. Have you subscribed? If you have, thank you so much. If you haven't, please do subscribe, like, and share this video. And you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And of course, here on YouTube, okay? So, my friend, what do I want to talk to you about today? I want to tell you about how to choose a city. I've just realized that this is actually a very big decision, and previously I did a video about how to choose a province. And you know what? We only have 10 provinces and 3 territories, so those were easier choices to make. But you know, within those provinces, now we have cities, and that is where now a lot of you are getting stuck. And I'm finding this question almost in every consultation that I do. When I say consultation, guys, I do offer immigration services, so please head on to Milele Immigration Services website and see the services that we offer. Should you need any immigration help, should you have any immigration question, please book a consultation. Yes, book a consultation. Don't WhatsApp me, don't text me, book a consultation, and I will see you at a time when you book that consultation, and I'll be happy to answer any question that you have. If you don't want to do that, please keep it here. I provide free education on this channel. Otherwise, if you want one-on-one conversation with myself, I'm happy to sit with you, but book that consultation, okay? And I'll put the consultation booking link in the description part of this video. I'll also put that video that I did about how to choose a province, because that is the broader subject. Today, I want us to get a little deeper and see how to choose a city, okay? So, you really need to choose the right city in whichever province. Remember, we said when you're looking for the province, there are broader things that you're looking at, and those are, you know, they are out there. So I'll leave you to look at that program, at that video. But now, when you want to go deep to the city, this is where you will be living. This is your neighborhood. What do you need to consider? Every city in this country is different, because Canada is such a big city with so many places to live. So you find that each city has got its own kind of culture, you know, services and weather. Okay, just here in Calgary, we have Calgary and we have Airdrie. It's 30 minutes drive from Calgary to Airdrie, and actually a lot of people in Airdrie work in Calgary, but it's totally different, including weather and culture and everything and landscape. So you really need to understand that each city is different, so choosing the right one is key. So even if you have friends and family living in Canada, you want to think about what your new life will look like. You want to know, do you want to go live in a large city? Do you know, are you the kind of a person who is happier in a small town? And you know, what kind of school are you looking for your family? And what kind of a job, you know, are you looking for? What is your industry and stuff like that? So Canadian communities are quite diverse, okay? So if you have specific work skills, you will want to live in a place whereby you can best use those skills, okay? If you like working in the rigs, in the oil rigs, you want to go live in Fort McMurray, okay? You don't want to live in Calgary because then here we don't have the oil rigs. So you want to go where you can best utilize your skills. So among other things that you want to consider, as I said, is of course the climate. You know, things like libraries. You know, your kids, they need access to libraries. If they're in school, maybe you're also going back to school. If you're going back to school, you're going to be spending a lot of time in libraries. So libraries are seriously great resources in this country. Even if you're starting a new job, like a new business, and maybe you don't have an office, the library is always a good place to be meeting your potential clients. So libraries are vital and they're crucial. You know, you want to know where there are facilities, and when I say facilities, you know, like fire department. Not just that, if you like swimming, you want to be in a place whereby, you know, you have like a recreational facility. So those are things that you really need to take in to take you need to consider. And why do I say that? You know, you want some kind of a social life. you want maybe to engage, you want to get out there and be able to meet people. So if there is a facility, like a recreational facility that has a swimming pool, like a tennis, or a football field, or whatever they have there, then that's a good place whereby you can go and engage and get a hobby and get to meet people. Okay, so of course you want to look at the cost of living, because oh my good lord, have you heard about the cost of living in this country? Toronto, for example, has gone crazy. You know, a lot of people now can barely live in Toronto because of the cost of living, especially the cost of homes. And you see, that is rising in many cities. So you want to check the cost of living. You also want to check the health services. You want to be in somewhere whereby you have easy access to health services for when you will need them. It's not if you need them, it's when you will need them, because eventually we all need health services. Of course, the cultural activities. Are you a person who is in arts, music, whatever cultural activity you would like? So you need to consider that. Of course, you need to consider the languages spoken there. And last but not least, you want to consider the community centers. Okay, my friend? Okay, so cities here, they come in many shapes and sizes. Yeah, some cities are large, and then we have medium sized, and we have small cities. So it's whatever pleases you, my friend. So if you like the big city, you go to the big cities. If you want the medium sized cities, you go to the if you like the peace and quiet of small cities, you go to the small ones. And yeah, so which are the biggest cities? You find that most newcomers in this country, they prefer settling in the 3 largest cities in this country. That is Toronto, Ontario, Montreal, Quebec, or Vancouver, British Columbia. And you will see, so Montreal is for those people, Quebec, because Quebec is French speaking, so majority of immigrants who come and want to live in Quebec, they end up in Montreal. A lot of other people want to live in Ontario, and you find that most of them, they head to Toronto. And the other people who fancy better weather, they head to British Columbia and they live in Vancouver. Okay, so those are the big largest cities. Of course, big cities come with the big city life, big traffic jams, the rush. So if you're up to that kind of a rush, please by all means head to those cities. And then we have the medium-sized cities. Okay, medium-sized cities. And this today I want to give you more, because I know we've also done another video that kind of talked about the big cities, but here I want to tell you about some other cities that maybe you haven't heard about, but they're also very popular and really good places whereby you can go live. Okay, so I'm gonna give you cities from east to west of Canada. So from east, we have St. John's. That is in Newfoundland and Labrador. So you want to go to St. John's. When you move now to Nova Scotia, Halifax is a really good medium-sized city. When you come this way to Quebec, Quebec City is a really good medium-sized city. And then when you come deeper to Ontario, you are looking at cities like Ottawa, Oshawa, Hamilton, St. Catharines, Kitchener, London, Windsor, Sudbury, Mississauga. Okay, so those are the main medium-sized cities in Ontario. So, everybody thinks that you can only live in Toronto. My friend, Toronto is not the end of Ontario. You have all those cities, and I'm just gonna go over them because I know some of them you've never heard about them. So I said Ottawa, Oshawa, Hamilton, St. Catharines, Kitchener, London, Windsor, Sudbury, and Mississauga. Okay, and then now when you come this way, west, now you're headed towards me west, you get to Manitoba, and in Manitoba you want to live in Winnipeg. Okay, outside of Winnipeg now, then you come this way to Saskatchewan, and in Saskatchewan you have two good medium-sized cities, and so you're talking of Saskatoon and Regina. Okay, and then you get to our province, Alberta, the most beautiful province in Canada. And in Alberta, you want to live in Calgary or Edmonton. And then when now you go further west, you get to British Columbia, outside the big city of Vancouver that we talked about there. You want to go live in Victoria. Victoria is such a nice, beautiful island, city there, so beautiful. And then, of course, yeah, so that is the other, yeah, that's the only other city that I would recommend outside of Vancouver for medium-sized cities. Okay. For Ontario, I think I also left out Thunder Bay. Yeah, Thunder Bay is next to Sudbury. Okay, guys. Okay, so how about small cities? You know, you're that person who likes tiny, tiny, tiny cities, really nice ones to live in. You want to go either to Sydney, Nova Scotia. You may also want to look at places like Corner Brook in Newfoundland and Labrador. When you go to Prince Edward Island, they have this little charming town called Charlottetown. And when you go to New Brunswick, they have Moncton. Okay. And of course, in Quebec, they have some small cities there. And then in Manitoba, you can go to Brandon, Manitoba. In Saskatchewan, you can go to Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan. Again, in Alberta, you can go to Red Deer. And in British Columbia, you can go to beautiful Kelowna. Oh, Kelowna is so beautiful. I like to vacation in Kelowna. Yes. So you find that those are the biggest, the medium size, and the small cities, which are really good for immigrants, and a lot of people find really good life there, and you get really good opportunities for employment and quality of life. Okay. Of course, I know not everybody wants to live in a city. Some people want now to live in the village. And when I say village, I should say rural areas, because here we don't have villages. So some people want to go live out there in the rural area, you know, maybe live on some kind of an acreage. And, you know, that is possible these days, and especially post-pandemic, whereby people now can work online. So you can live anywhere you want now, as long as you have the ability to work online and you have internet where you are, and you find that life is really cheap in the rural areas. But then every time you go live in the rural areas, you know, they have wide open spaces there, and there's plenty of fresh air. But now you also need to figure out whether you can get access to public and private facilities, because if you have children, you still want children to go to school unless you want to do homeschooling. So you want to check your priorities before you live in the home in the rural areas, and see whether the facilities and the resources you need, if they are available. So whatever you desire right now in Canada is possible. You don't have to be restricted into those big cities, because I am telling you, the cost of living and this inflation has made life almost unbearable in these big cities, especially for newcomers, and especially for people who are not making serious money. You know, the cost of a home right now in Toronto is, I think, the average cost of a home in Toronto, I think it's $1.5 million. Come on. Who has that kind of money? Unless, you know, people who have old money, or people who've been working, or they bought their homes, you know, a few years back, and now their homes have appreciated like that. The same thing with Vancouver. The cost of a home is exorbitant there, and now you find that trend is coming way to Calgary here, because for example, here in Calgary, the cost of a home, like pre-pandemic, the average cost of a home was like 480, and right now, 2 years later, the same house will be costing 750,000 Canadian dollars. So you find that, you know, these are the things which are actually pushing people into smaller cities or into the rural areas. So you need to really consider some of those things, because come on, everybody, you know, I know you all have your own priorities, but it's good to know that now things are possible. Okay, we have many possibilities. I think one thing we can thank the pandemic for is that it came and opened us. It opened opportunities in our minds, because when I used to work like one day from home, and that was a big privilege that we could work one day from home. And now a lot of companies, they are letting you work from home forever, and you know, you don't need to show up anywhere. And as long as you're within Canada, then you can work from anywhere. You don't have to be in a big city or confined in a condo downtown because you're worried about commuting. Okay, guys? Anyway, whatever you choose, please, I hope now that I've given you this list, you have a better idea of where you want to look. So do your due diligence, do some research, and see some of the best cities that you want to move to. Okay? Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.